Hello and welcome to Ghostmodeling. In today's episode we talk about painting and chipping. If you know, I'm a little bit of a noob in scale modeling and I try to improve my skills. Today I'm gonna paint the tank and I will assemble the last parts. I had to adjust a small hedge because it just didn't fit. Surely a mistake on my part. I'll start with the exhaust. I want it to be very rusty because they are very stressed by the heat. I sprayed the whole model with a grey primer. Then I colored the lightest areas with a Damia white and a sponge to get a light and soft pattern, because these areas are the rustiest. Then I build up the effect step by step. Painted 2 times with a brown filter to get the basics done. And then gradually worked out the rust with brown and the grimy parts with flat black. I was happy with the result, so I left him like that for the first time. Oil paints, okay. Now I'm not a big fan of oil paints, because I never work with them. I will manage it somehow. I bought the cheapest colors I found in my local art store, where I normally buy the things for my job. 40 cents a tube? I think that's cheap enough. I used the popular dots technique to bring a little bit of life into the whole thing. I used yellow, brown and black. Since I'm not very familiar with this technique, I just let it run. I faded everything with an enamel thinner, and I was amazed how well it worked. On the horizontal surfaces, I only made tapping movements with the brush, because everything behaves differently. The water and the dirt doesn't just run off. It is very interesting to see how the model changes with such a simple technique, because the whole area is not longer just one simple tone and you can already set light shadings. Here I've already shaded the cannon muzzle a little, and also where I think there should be oil dirt and similar things. I think I took the right colors, or more, I hope so. So let's chip this thing. It's also my first time. It's quite a hard job to work on so tiny spots. For the first color I mixed some Tamiya NATO green with a little amount of wooden deck then, and flat black. I worked with a sponge to get nice little dots. First I worked along the edges and then connected everything with the smallest brush I have. For the bare metal parts I mixed Tamiya flat black with a little amount of wooden deck tan. I thought that should work. Here I used a very heavy chipping on the side plating. They get damaged quickly and there are a lot of bullet holes where the paint cracks off. It is not as precise and exactly as I would like it to be, but since I definitely lack the exercise, it will have to be enough for my first attempt. So I then worked my way through the whole vehicle. It is really amazing how time consuming the whole painting is. Since I pressed the sponge too hard a few times, there were a few larger areas that I left on purpose to look at my mistakes on the finished model. I tried to work a little more precisely on the turrets. I also tried to imitate a few stretches on the elevations, because I will then still design everything with a few rusty spots. I'm curious to see how well I've worked. With the detailed work, the tank takes on shape, and of course it becomes more and more interesting for the eye. Here on this edge I had a 2mm gap. I had to repair it with a 1mm styrene sheet so that everything fit again. No big deal. I just wonder if this was my mistake or the model just didn't fit. I used an enamel wash from Mick. I think it's easy to use and I have a lot of fun with this technique. I used the streaking rust effect from Mick. It is very easy to overdo this effect, and you may ruin everything. So I think it isn't this bad, and I'm happy with the result. Then follow the last parts to finish the model. For the tow cable I used a copper wire, nothing special. I shouldn't have installed the running gear right at the beginning, since I only had problems and I didn't want to take everything apart. Otherwise, everything would have been broken. So I had to work for a long time. So, this is my first finished model. I hope you enjoyed my video. I would be happy about a subscription or a thumbs up. I will try to upload a video every week. The next project is already in progress. Thank you for holding on until the end. If you have suggestions for improvements, I will be happy to hear them. Thank you and goodbye.